Welcome back to the Mara Triangle, everybody. We're sitting here in the lee of the Ulololo escarpment. 3 lions of the Kichwatembo pride, 1 young male and 2 females over there. And it is just magnificent. Over in the distance, off to the left-hand side, you can see the rain starting to fall, pouring down in the southern part of the Mara Triangle. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. And as Jean-Andre plans along the top of the Ulololo escarpment, you'll see the magnificent place that we're staying. Maasai Mara, the latest addition to the lodges of this area, and quite possibly the most magnificent lodge I've ever seen on all of this great continent. So it's a great privilege to be staying there. If you're ever thinking about coming here, that's the place to be, Maasai Mara. Now, we've arrived at the lions recently, and we're sitting here hoping that they are going to go hunting tonight. We think that they are going to be hunting, and I'm sorry about the bits of wind that are going on. John-Ray, you need to look behind us. There's a lioness on the stalk right now. So sorry about the wind, everybody. There is a storm blowing in, a gorgeous storm. Of course, a real blessing to have any kind of rain here in the African wilderness. I don't know what this lioness is stalking. I can't see. There's a Thompson's gazelle, seemingly unaware, way away, probably about, I don't know, maybe could be 400 meters from the mile. Male Thompson's gazelle, can you see it there? It's way in the distance, just about to cross the road in front of us there. Now you're watching a live broadcast from the Mara Triangle. It's an and the plains of this place are just so productive. An incredible number of species. Elephants, as you may have just seen the elephants. We've seen the Thompson's gazelle. We've seen lions. We've seen thousands of wildebeest and zebra and Maasai giraffe and warthogs and buffalo and endless other species. It really has been the most fantastic time here. Well, let's watch as this lioness goes on the hunt. I'm going to sneak down into the car. There are more than one Thompson's gazelle there, and we're going to see if we can't get a little bit closer. We're going to drive behind her and do our best not to move just behind her. Look at the elephants. Isn't that wonderful? Andre to keep on her while we're moving, and you can ask us questions in the comments section. Hello, Francie. You wonder if this lion is bigger and sleeker than the lionesses of the Sabi Sand in South Africa, where we also broadcast from. Francie, no. The lionesses are not sleeker and larger. They're actually pretty much the same size, I reckon. It's just because they're in the open, I think, that they look perhaps slightly different. This lioness is the perfect color. Look at her. She's just got down, hunkering down. Her shoulders crouched, waiting to spring. Say that there was no chance she was going to have a run from here. But you know what? The lionesses of this area that we've watched, and we've watched 3 hunts now, they run. Not quite as good at sprinting as cheetah, but because of the lack of bushes here, they have to run. Now what she's got between her and those Thompson's gazelles, which are looking this way, by the way, is a little, and that little, but the wind is perfect. The wind is blowing straight, and what that means is that they cannot smell the lion. She's using the wind to her advantage. That has started to rain now. Hello, Dee. You say you love these drives so much since you found them. Well, I suggest very strongly that you save all your shekels and book a place at Maasai Mara. You can come and sit in these plains and watch the unbelievable sightings that we're looking at right now firsthand, because I promise you this is a spiritual experience being in this place. It's an ancient land with just the most amazing sort of the most amazing interactions that have been going on here for millennia and millennia. Now, Amy Stewart, you're wondering how many lions there are normally in a pride. Amy, it really does vary quite a lot. But over here, this pride has got 4 lionesses, 2 young males, apparently another 2 lionesses. We've seen one of them. That's been been reported to us by one of the Maasai Mara staff. He's just watched her take down a zebra while we were waiting for the wildebeest to cross the river. Look at that, and they're infinitely patient, these cats. And I'm just checking behind us to see if the others aren't coming up. They're not. And lionesses will often kill on their own, you know, and it's been shown, especially in East Africa, where we are obviously now sitting now in Kenya, it's been shown that lions often, excuse the sound everyone, microphone is just attaching itself quietly. There we are. There we are. Isn't that beautiful? She's moving now slowly. Look how perfectly coloured she is. She's a perfect colour. And look how carefully she places her feet. Even though the wind is blowing and those Thompson's gazelles don't have a chance of hearing her, she's still very careful. Watch how carefully she places that foot. And getting as low down as possible, infinitely patient. This is amazing. And to watch it at this time of the day. We're going to follow these lines into the night, everybody. And this is live, just in case you were wondering if you happen to be watching some kind of recorded show. You are watching a completely live lion hunt from the Mara Triangle. I'm going to take this opportunity to move very slightly forward. Hello Ramzo, you're in Germany. How very good to hear from you, all the way from Germany. You say it's great to be on safari with us. Well, Ramzo, it's great to have you on safari with us, and I hope that you will one day be able to come through here and experience this place for yourself. I have been gobsmacked, alternately amazed, awe-inspired, and just astounded at the amazing sights, the scenery, the animals, the life, the diversity, the fertility of this landscape is utterly beyond speech. Which is why I've run out of so many superlatives to use. There are only so many superlatives one can use, you know. That was me taking a picture, that click. I'm the world's worst wildlife photographer, so it's unlikely you'll see that picture ever. And as I said, we are going to follow these lions into the night. Despite the rain and despite the wind, we watched them kill last night, you know. It was the most amazing experience. As darkness fell, they started to move, and they stalked off through the clearings. They were chased by, eventually, 40 hyenas, and eventually they killed a little baby zebra. They devoured it, and then they had a wonderful night off. They came back to the same place where we found them yesterday evening at the same time, and they seem to be about to do it again. There is the beautiful Thompson's gazelle with some, I think, spur-winged lapwings. I'm not very familiar with the birds here, but I think that's what those are. Sorry, Kurt, I missed your question. I'm just going to ask for it again. Here it comes. Now, Kurt, you're wondering if the lions wouldn't get distracted by us. Now, yes, they could be distracted by us in theory, but no, they're not going to be now, and I'll tell you why. I'm sitting next to her. She won't be distracted by us. It's quite possible that if we were to go too much closer, the Thompson's gazelle would move away from us. They won't be as confident around us as she is, but you can see she is totally unaffected by us. Now, as darkness falls and the light fades, we're not going to put a white light on them. We're going to put what we call infrared light on, which means they will be unable to see it. We will be able to, with this rather clever camera that Jean-André is operating, we will be able to view them without them kind of being disturbed by the light, and most importantly, without their prey being alerted to their presence. So no, that is a very good question, Kurt, and it's very important that you understand we're going to do our utmost not to disturb these lions or their prey. We want to be observers, not participants in any lion hunt that's going on here. Isn't this special? An amazing standoff going on. Look at the wind blowing the smell of the Thompson's gazelles onto them. Mark Kim, you're wondering if the... Sorry, 1 second. You're wondering if lions here have a sort of a taste for specific kinds of prey. I think it's largely to do with what they can catch. Some prides do specialize. Apparently this pride here, when the wildebeest are in the area, which they are now, or the 1.4 million of them have come into this area now, and yes, they do have a preference for wildebeest and zebra apparently when they are here. But when they aren't here, what they like to eat apparently is warthog. They eat a lot of warthogs when they're on their own here without the wildebeest and zebra, and also tokabe, if you know what that is. It's a most beautiful antelope. It's my new favourite. Well, it's a close favourite. Close to the nyala anyway. Now, if you've just joined us, let me just give you an idea of what's going on here. We're sitting in the Mara Triangle. That is in southern Kenya, in East Africa, possibly the world's most exciting continent. And we're watching the Kichwa Tembo pride of 5 lionesses and 2 young male lions of about 2 years old each, stalking some Thompson's gazelles. The other lions are just behind here, watching the progress of the slightly older one, seeing if she's going to be lucky, for they will almost certainly share in the meal if she's successful. She's being completely and absolutely patient. The light is starting to fade, and that is going to favour her. She's watching them very carefully. There we go. Now she's starting to move. They've obviously turned away from her. Oh, this is amazing. Hello, Brian. You say you love that this job is now in the Mara. Great job to everyone involved. Well, I love it too. I'm absolutely astounded by the things that I've seen here. Able to experience the Mara one day, especially from the glorious luxury of Maasai Mara, where we happen to be staying. We didn't expect that, and wow, it is quite something. Sitting perched atop the Ululolo escarpment, you'd actually be able to see this lioness from here with a good pair of binoculars. And what she's doing, every time they turn around, look away, she takes a couple more steps forward. You can see her colour is perfect. This is why a lion is tawny. Look at the colour of her in the grass here. I'm going to move slightly forward. This is mainly because we're about to be overtaken. And just to keep you posted, we have got special permission to be here after dark. So we will be following them after dark. And what I do not want to do is frighten those Tommies. Hello, Stan. You say, do I know the name of the pride? Stan, the pride is the Kichwa Tembo pride. Here she goes. Here she goes. She's going to move up to that term. Look at this. Look there, they're running. They've run away. I don't know what happened there. I think she stood up too soon. You see, she went over the top of the termite mound. Yeah, they're looking straight at her. You might also be able to hear a bird going. And I suspect quite strongly that that's an alarm call. I can actually see the little blighter in front of us. Jean-Andre, on the very longest stalk of grass. No, don't worry about it. It's flown away. And I think that is what alerted the Tommies. Then they looked up and they saw the lioness coming over this little termite mound. Well, that was the first hunt. Let's see what happens for the rest of the evening. She's still following. We might turn around and go back to the rest of the pride. But one thing that we are going to have to do is pick up our askari. He's one of the park staff who's going to accompany us in the night to make sure we don't get lost. Now, Nilesh, you have asked a very pertinent question. I'm going to follow this lioness because the rest of them are behind us, and I think they will follow her eventually. Nilesh, you're wondering why she's hunting alone. Do they always hunt alone, or you thought they hunted in groups? Nilesh, they do hunt in groups, but sometimes they hunt on their own. Now, we've just heard from one of the Maasai Mara chaps that he's seen a young zebra being killed by a single lioness, and we know that lionesses on their own eat just as well, in fact better, than lion prides with less than 3 lionesses in them. So 2 and 3 lionesses eat more poorly. Here comes the Tommy now to the right-hand side. It can see the lion. What they're doing, let me just tell you what they're doing. They're coming up here simply to make sure that she and her kin are without or outside of the flight distance. There they are. So Linesh, they will hunt on their own sometimes, but normally they will wait for the pride. Call. If you're watching us on Facebook, we are going to be continuing tonight. So join us perhaps for the rest of the evening, and we'll see if the Kichwa Timbo pride doesn't kill as darkness falls.